Hello, good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining us for the show. We've all, as a people, need to make sacrifices, and indeed, we've got to make those sacrifices to make sure individually, whatever our goals, targets are, we're able to achieve them. But even as a whole, as a country, as citizens of our own nation, we need to make sure we're part of the development that we all aspire to achieve. Well, you may watch social media videos about how well the West and even the Chinese and the rest of the Southeastern Asian countries are developing. But it took them a lot of sacrifices. And now those sacrifices just did not come about because as a country they decided to achieve them. It took each individual of those countries to perform their own roles as individuals in achieving their own goals and objectives, and as a country, it all came together for them. And I hope that all of us, in our own small way, in our own little corners, would also achieve many other related things to achieve a great target for our country. What do we say by that cliche? Little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. A good friend of mine, Salifu Combat, you came to I couldn't see you, sorry. Shadows were just too tight. You're with the Boku Presbyterian Hospital. Good morning to you, as well as to your wife Flora, who is also with the Ghana Immigration Service, posted to the Misiga border. And talking about the Ghana Immigration Service, you also know that we're always every morning before the close of August going to bring you latest documentaries and also news reviews on the state and the porousness of our borders. And just in case you watch each of those features or pieces and you want to comment and you've experienced all those issues related to how porous our borders are, make sure that you add the hashtag porous borders and JoyNews to each of those comments on Facebook, our Twitter handle, and also on YouTube. Now, while on the Ghana Grand Tour, Kojo Yankson spoke to the president of the National House of Chiefs and the former chairman of the National Investment Bank on an array of issues, including the banking sector crisis and the PDS scandal or saga. So we're going to bring you that insightful interaction Kojo Yankson had with Togbi Afode, the Agbogbon Mafia of the Asogli State. And you know that, well, because he's bereaved, we're not going to have a climax to the Yam Festival of the Asogli State. But then, of course, they're going to have the ceremony as it is. It's going ultimately this time to climax on the 6th of September. We'll try and be there. We'll have some great time with the people of Ho and the rest of the Asogli State. So don't worry. And also to the Volta Regional Minister, we know that you're doing some great work with Togbi Afode to make sure that development comes to the area.
Yet what you see in Africa, what you see in Ghana is in stark contrast with what you see elsewhere. And that worries me. Why should I go wallow in poverty in the midst of plenty? And this same story you see all across all the countries where the black man is in majority.
So he will be asking the question and answering it himself. Does a black man have a problem in developing his own state? Well, also moving on is about how sometimes we tend to mismanage all other related issues. And the conversation on the Bank of Ghana's closure and revocation of licenses of 23 savings and loan companies is still ongoing. We've heard from a number of industry players and analysts on how this ultimately could pan out. So today, we'll be hearing from the receiver, Mr. Eric Nana Nipa. He is a great tax and accountant professional with the PricewaterhouseCoopers. And he had an interaction, a great one, with George Rafi of our business team.
You fill them, you attach the necessary documentation, and then you present them at the branch where you initially took them from, because we have people there. They will then go through what we call the validation process. All right. They would take your forms, analyze or review the underlying documents, and what they would want to do would be to, number one, establish whether indeed your claim is valid.
And if you're a customer of one of those 23 firms, please know that this is interaction you need to watch or listen to and get to know what your way forward will be in trying to recover your funds with these savings and loans companies. But, well, the Ghana Grand Tour ultimately ended, climaxed to a good end on Sunday, leaving in its trail a lot of memories. And how easy was it to put together such an amazing and adventurous event? Koje Yankson, while riding with the British High Commissioner Ian Walker, decided to find out from the British High Commission's head of strategic partnership how it all came to a head, putting this great event together. And we also know that there were some great celebrities who ultimately helped in, climaxing the whole event. And John Dubello, for example, joined from the Sinchi area and right down through to the Shy Hills Game Reserve, and I even went through Michelle Camp, Afienya Motorway. And just on the side is my my area, J. just closer to Ashaiman. And so we had some great time within the 10-day period that Koje Yankson was with the British High Commissioner and the rest of the Ghana Grand Tour team. And it was all for a good cause, making sure that the team and the event itself raise enough money for charity. And they're donating to the plastic and burns unit, plastic surgery and burns unit of the Kolobutichin Hospital. Yeah. So please, if you had some great memories as well, please let us know. If you watch the team pass by you in your town or community, you can make sure that you get interactive with us. Tag us on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. We have a Twitter handle as well, JoyNews on TV. And please let us know what you saw, your own memories of it as well, even what you witnessed on television. It will help us a lot. We also know that all of us were in it together. Yeah, it was a great finish. But on the sidelines, we'll be sandwiching all these great conversations with some great entertainment highlights on AM Showbiz, which will be the climax of the whole show this morning. And it's always brought to you by Awake Purified Water. But before then, we would have brought to you the latest news headlines and the latest tidbits from the world of sports. You would by now know that Manchester United and their main player, Paul Pogba, couldn't score that penalty that would have given them a win against Wolves. So we'll bring you all those highlights from the sports team as it brings the latest sports headlines. Make sure that you're joining us. It's going to be a fantastic 3 hours right here on the show. But let's start the whole show with some great highlights of the news we have in the studio. Thank you for staying with us. It is the AM show right here on the channel.